Now let's start and have a look at how do you transition from one career to another. This is um, it's not as tricky as you think, okay, but it needs a little work. So you need to make sure that the keywords are there and that golden thread is throughout. When it comes to your executive summary, that's where you start using the competencies that you've just gained. So if you have now studied something and this is where you now want to start moving over, you need to start mentioning out of that, what did you gain? What did you learn? The academic side is still, or the scientific side is still seen as a key part to how you go and get a job. It's proof that you actually did, that you do have those skills and that knowledge. So that's what you need to put in your executive summary. If there's certain parts or certain elements from previous jobs that are applicable to the new career that you want to follow, say you've been in accountancy all your life, but you now want to move over to sustainability consulting. In your previous jobs, what did you do? How did it come about? Are you able to now move over to reporting on sustainability, on risk management? So those need to be highlighted. Those need to be put up first in your older positions. And again, join those groups for your new interests so that when they look at the whole profile, they can actually see this is what you're interested in. If there's nothing that shows this is where you're going, that's where the question starts raising of, well, why does this person want to now go to sustainability if they've never actually done anything about it or they're not interested in it? And then make sure that your endorsements also now start reflecting not just the accountancy, but those sustainability skills, so that you can see these are the transitional skills that you're now becoming known for. Obviously, you can't have people endorse you for skills that you don't have, so be honest about it. Even if you can start showing progression of how how your career has changed, or because of what you've been studying, or because of what you've been getting to know at the moment. And that's how you start moving it over. Then you start following the companies where you would like to work. If you've now seen that you can actually move over and there's a particular company that is interesting to you, follow that company, get to know the recruiters in those companies, get to know how you can actually transfer your skills to that new position. Sorry, 2 seconds. So now the other part is, how else do you get people to understand what knowledge you have? And the best case is to blog about that knowledge. There is place on LinkedIn. Okay, if you go to your home page, you'll see the link here. You can share an article, you can share a photo or a video, or even an idea. If you write an article, it actually takes you to a page where you can write this properly, and there's certain rules. So I'll go through it just now as well, but this is a way for you to actually showcase your skills and your competencies. So if you have information about what you've been studying, start putting it out there. Or this is also a place where you can now post an article of interesting work or interesting information about that new industry. And again, that will show your audience that this is what you're interested in. The more engagement you get from your first connections is also going to add on. So now you need to be able to answer them as well. So make sure that what you're posting is relevant and also within your knowledge field. So so now you can also showcase the projects. If you have done something of value that you are able to put up, that's where you put that in. So on LinkedIn, everything is meant to be professional. It's meant to be of such that it's information that's going on. So it's not about how you now, had drinks with the company in that form. This is meant to be something where you're actually going to post information that other people are going to be interested, and that's why they're going to follow you, okay, or that's why they're going to make a connection with you. I've started noticing a lot now on LinkedIn, people are putting out, how they had, a braai with their company. That is still not professional enough to be on LinkedIn. So be careful what you post. It's more about the information, about the knowledge that you're sharing. Then connect with the other experts. Go and find anybody in that field that you want to go over to. And chat to them, ask them for their advice, and how did they get to that point? Or what do they do so that you can see how can you fit into that particular career. You'll find also that's also a great connection to make with those experts, because they might be able to suggest a way for you to get into that, steps for you to get into that position that you really want to go to. And it's sometimes also nice because you end up with the experts who are willing to mentor you. So make those connections. Go and find those guys that are the experts. What you must also maybe consider is look at all your other social media. So whether it's your Twitter, your Instagram, or your Pinterest, Facebook, you also need to express your interest there. If you are interested in sustainability, and you're interested in that whole field, green business models, whatever it may be, go and make sure that that's what you're following on Twitter, and that's what you're reposting or retweeting, so that that whole picture comes out. Okay.
How do you get feedback on the acceptance of articles?
Okay.
And does the view of an article mean much? And I suppose it means, does it mean much in terms of, if you got this many views for an article, does it make it look like, you actually got that expertise and you did go out?
Yeah. The main thing there is, first of all, you need to go and look at accredited information. So most of if it's an article that comes from a company, then usually it would have been edited, it would have been vetted, and that would be good information to pass on or to repost to your audience. Okay. If you've written the article, you need to make sure that you've had it edited and that you are not posting on any information that is not your own, or that you do reference anybody else's work. When people comment on it and people are writing about or giving feedback onto that, you need to be able to answer them, and you need to be able to give information back so that they can see you have expertise on that field and that you're credible views. It comes down to, are you able to answer them, and that you're doing this from an academic point of view and not a personal point of view. So if somebody does comment and you don't agree with it, you need to be able to justify that, and you need to be able to put back something to say, yes, this is how I experience it, or how this is the research behind this, so that they can see that you are credible. When people view that information, you'll be able to see how many people are actually viewing it or not. And if your first contacts are actually, posting comments or actually liking it or making any impact, their contacts will be able to see it as well. And that's the nice thing. They'll be able to, that's how it spreads the network, okay? But if you find that one or two people are only liking it, or, you can actually go and see the views afterwards. If it's like, again, 2 or 3 people that have only viewed it, you must decide, are you going to stop doing this, or are you going to keep going? Because consistency is another thing, and you might have to adjust and adapt and see what works for you. Until you find a lot of people are commenting and making actually, or using it all, that they're sharing your article. And that's how you start seeing if it's valuable or not. Kind of a bit of a, tried and tested run, so you'll have to see what works. I see there's another question. So let's see. Yolanda says, does the LinkedIn job page give you additional benefits than using the job search in the LinkedIn? Okay. So as I mentioned, those the app. What's nice is it gives you immediate alerts, okay? And first time if you apply as a first user or first applicant, you get a 10% chance, more chance of landing a job. So that's why it's best. And also that mention of the referrals, because people will refer you based on the jobs. So that's where that comes in. Then Susan says, when you would like to apply for a job, but keep it private between you and the, I presume, company, would this ensure the privacy? Share your full profile with a job poster. Okay. In your privacy settings, you need to go and put up whether you want people to see it or not. I mentioned right in the beginning that it's not 100% fail-safe, okay? So there is a chance that it could go out there. So you must really, really check if how dangerous is it for you in your company if you don't want anybody to know anything about doing your searches. If you contact them directly, okay, you share it with them. You also, it goes, if it's in your profile that you are not open yet to applications, or you're not open to people knowing about it, they also get a notification to say that this is not shareable or this is not distributable. It's best, if you're really worried about it, that you actually go back to that person, because you should be able to pick up who's the job poster, and say to them, you know, I am not open at the moment, my company doesn't know, I would value it if you don't contact anybody in my company. But, you know, LinkedIn is a public platform, and there's always that chance that somebody could see something, so be very careful. Okay, I'm going to go on for this part. So if you want to transition from one career to another, and it could be that you want to start your own business, obviously that networking is huge, okay? And this is why you make contact with as many people as possible. This is the way to contact your clients, to have a look at who's are the suppliers out there, and what other opportunities are available based on obviously what you've started for your business. And again, this is where you showcase your knowledge, you know, blog or SlideShare, join those groups, and that's also where you make more contacts. This, where you blog or your SlideShare, is again showing your knowledge, okay? And it's again to show your expertise, but you need to be aware that people are going to make comments on it. People are going to contact you and pass on feedback. So you need to be prepared for that, and have all your backups for that. So share the most knowledgeable expertise out there. Build your models, build your frameworks, and then that's what you're passing on. Okay, there's also the option in LinkedIn to go and create your company with its logo, with its contact details. So especially if you're starting a new business, it's a great place to start making those contacts, and do go and do those things. But that's a whole session on its own, exactly how to, you know, start your business. So I'm just giving you the short version here. In your summary, go and update that to say, this is what I am doing, this is how I am, you know, or what I'm intending with my new set of skills, and this is how you let people know, this is what I'm doing, okay? Update your profile. And have coffee. Seriously, if you're networking, it doesn't mean that you need to only straight away go in with all your new business and everything. Half of this is making those contacts, making those connections. So if you find somebody that's interesting on LinkedIn, Start off with building that relationship and say, if you have time, I would really like to tap into your expertise. Can we do a coffee? Okay. So that's just one other way of doing it.